You know what's happening. There's no more room for denial. He pulls away, he ignores, he hesitates, the connection cools. And you? You wait. You justify. You search for answers where there are none. The thread stretches, but doesn't break. And the truth is, you've already noticed this. There's no mystery here. The situation is clear and uncomfortable. The pattern repeats. He appears, promises, regresses, and you remain. You call it love, but it's dependency. Call it a connection, but it's wear and tear. The bond exists because you feed it, not by force, but by lack of decision. Those who feel secure don't need to make empty promises. Those who care don't hesitate. The rest is just purposeless movement. You are in a cycle that only continues because you accept it. Being available is not a neutral choice. It's a decision that sustains the uncertainty. And what do you really need? No more talk, no more excuses. It's deciding whether you will continue on this thread. The truth has already been presented. You know that uncertainty isn't comfortable, but you still insist. You tell yourself there will be a change, that one day he will realize. But reality is colder, and you've already started to feel the pain of repetition. He pulls away and you ask yourself, what's happening? The answer is in front of you, but you don't want to see it. He doesn't care what you think. He doesn't invest in what you feel, and you keep searching for explanations. He makes promises, but they are like shadows, always distant, always elusive. You wait for him to take responsibility, but it doesn't come. Instead, you place more weight on your needs. You accept what he gives. You adapt to bits and pieces of attention. When he finally appears, you try to believe it's different. You try to feel something new in the same old pattern. But when the door closes, the loneliness returns, and it screams. You delay the inevitable, claiming that a bit more patience will bring results. The truth is, you have already decided to stay. The bond is not just a connection, it's a trap built on hope. The hope you nurture daily. It feels familiar, but it is devastating. Each moment of expectation is another brick in this invisible prison. And while you wait, life passes by. Opportunities fade away. You watch other people, interacting, living, while you remain still. Your ambitions take a back seat. Your essence is torn apart by emotional wear and tear. The connection you prioritize is an empty echo. Focus on what truly matters, or lose yourself in what holds no value. He never knew how much you sacrifice. He never needed to understand. And you stay, believing that your sacrifice brings some form of meaning. That is your choice. And you sustain each moment, each silence. Every time he hesitates, you justify it. Every time he disappears, you wait. But the cost increases. Time advances while you live in the past. The memories oppress. They are a labyrinth in which you get lost, believing the walls will give way. And what happens when you decide to stop fighting for this illusion? The relief is immediate. Freedom is within your reach. But fear infiltrates. The fear of losing what you still consider a bond. And so, you regress. You return to the comfort bubble, even though this bubble is suffocating. You need to make a decision, a clear break between what you want and what you deserve. You can continue in this cycle of empty promises or move forward. This power is in your hands, but it requires courage. It requires the willingness to face the truth head-on. No justifications, no measurements. What do you really want? It is clearer now. It is not love, it is not affection, but the need for validation. You seek recognition. You crave someone who sees you fully, but he doesn't see. And you become an echo, a reflection of what could be if there was reciprocity. Words gain weight. They are no longer promises, but shackles that you carry. The love you feel is not strong enough to bear this burden, and the scale tips only to one side. Freedom is there, visible, but you hesitate. You choose the safety of familiar disillusionment. What if it all ends? What if you decide to cut this tie? The unknown is frightening. The void seems greater than any pain. But reality was long presented. You live in the shadow of what could be, while possibilities fade away. What are you still waiting for? The certainty that there will be a change is not an act of faith. It is an exercise in denial. Time doesn't go back, it moves forward. And every day you stay in this cycle, you postpone your own growth. You sacrifice your own narrative. You can choose to face the naked truth. You can choose to rebuild yourself, even if it means leaving the past behind. You are not trapped. You are paralyzed. And this point of paralysis exists only because you allowed it to exist. This is not a call to action. It is an acknowledgement of what is evident. And what is evident is that the situation will not change on its own. The control is in your hands. Reality, however, is not kind. It is raw and demands difficult decisions. Understand, in this reality, you have no room for illusions. You have the power to transform your story, but this requires you to let go of something that no longer serves you. The truth is simple, and it has already been presented. Time is not an ally. It is an observer, indifferent to your suffering. Every second that passes is a choice that you make. You cling to unfulfilled promises while the world outside continues to spin. The people around you have lives in motion. They move forward while you stagnate. What is more painful? The waiting or the reality you are avoiding? The conversations you had with him echo in your mind. Many were full of hope, others filled with frustration. You find yourself reliving every word, trying to find meaning where there is none. It's a vicious cycle. He waves at you but doesn't deliver. And you offer yourself. Your own boundaries dissipate like smoke in the air. This is not love. It's a cruel game. You convince yourself that this connection is unique, but it is made of fragments. He doesn't realize how much you give, how much you invest in the expectation of something that never materializes. Each of his hesitations is a reminder of your vulnerability, and you try to ignore that beside this vulnerability, there is a choice to stay or to leave. You look at your reflection in the mirror. What do you see? The same person, but with deep, dark circles. The sparkle in your eyes, almost gone. It is your routine of waiting and disappointments that shapes who you are now. Each experience, each moment of absence leaves invisible but intense marks. You wonder if it's worth it, if this struggle for attention is really what you desire. The pain of rejection is familiar. It has a bitter taste, a taste you have experienced so many times that it has become part of your daily life. The emptiness you feel when he doesn't respond, the pang in your chest when you realize that your presence is optional for him. You choose to ignore what it means, ignore the consequences of a one-sided love. You recall moments of joy. Remember the promises that seemed so real. But now, looking back, you realize they were just illusions. He laughs, he touches, he promises, but he roams the surface. And you dive into the depths, searching for something that will never exist. The connection you desire will never be created by just one side. What happens when the need to be seen turns into obsession? You become a spectator of your own life. Experiences pass by you, but you don't participate. Love shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't cause this constant pain. And yet, you cling to the illusion that everything will change. What if you made the decision to let go? Fear seems larger than any action. The unknown is frightening. You've become accustomed to living in limbo. And now, thinking about cutting that tie, despair takes over. There is safety in pain, and there is a high cost in change. You fear abandonment, but the question is, who is truly abandoning whom? He distances himself. You cling, and in this empty space, the truth begins to seep in. The truth that you are allowing this to happen, that the power to change is in your hands, but you hesitate. This inertia costs you your mental health, and the days become a monotonous repetition. Your friends comment on your interactions, they notice the wear and tear, but you shut down. How to explain the confusion you feel? You want to defend the indefensible. Expectation and reality collide, and you become paralyzed. But what is the real price to pay for continuing in this cycle? When was the last time you felt whole? The last time you enjoyed your own company without the shadow of doubt hovering above you? You sacrifice your own essence for someone who doesn't recognize your worth. What does that mean to you? What is the weight of this in your life? The reality is that you can choose, you can step back from this cycle. You can stop fueling the murmurs of resentment. The challenge is to face what is in front of you. The decision to break with the past demands courage, and courage doesn't come from the certainty that everything will be fine. It comes from the determination to reclaim what is yours. At this moment, your life doesn't need to be defined by the mistakes of others. Your narrative doesn't need to be an echo of empty promises. The possibilities are there, tangible. More than that, they are yours. You can crave the freedom that comes with the truth. You may want the strength that comes from self-awareness. The pain can be intense, but it is a signal that you should no longer accept less than you deserve. The commitment must begin with yourself. Freeing yourself is not synonymous with being cold or indifferent. It means knowing that your happiness does not depend on someone who chooses to ignore you. When you see yourself in the void, ask yourself, what do I really want? The answer is hidden under layers of conformity and fear. It's time to unearth them. Freedom is not a distant dream. It is a reality within reach of your hands, just waiting for you to grasp it. You can write a new chapter, but everything starts with the choice to act. This choice is yours and yours alone. Reality has already been presented. When you look at your life, you realize that each day is a repetition. Every morning brings the same expectation. You get up and face the same void. Your routine is a cycle, and you are stuck in the sameness. Time passes, but you remain. He doesn't see, and you exhaust yourself trying to be seen. Interactions lose their color. Promises are no longer bullets of hope, but ashes that accumulate. Moments of joy? They become distant echoes, almost ghosts of what could have been. You try to grasp the good moments, but they slip through your fingers like sand. Looking around, you feel you are the only one fighting. Others move forward, live, and you are stagnant. Life goes on while you nullify yourself. The gaze of others weighs. They speak in a tone of concern, but you still try to justify your choices. He will change, you say. One day he will see me. But what does this really mean? Love should be light, not a burden. And you wonder, for how long will you bear this weight? The emotional wear is palpable. You feel tired, exhausted from fighting for something that has never been offered in return. There is an abyss between what you desire and what you receive, and this distance is a constant echo. The connection that should have been fruitful turned into a battlefield, and you find yourself fighting alone, wearing yourself out in an effort that only you seem to value. What happens to your essence when you give everything and receive so little? You diminish, you fade. Every passing day you become a reflection of unrequited love. And the nights, they are filled with memories. You lie down and relive every word exchanged, every lost smile. Loneliness becomes your silent companion. The silence is deafening. The emptiness transforms into an open wound. In that space, you start to wonder if this love is worth it. You seek validation in small gestures, in crumbs of attention. He responds to a text and you cling to that as if it were a victory. But reality insists on showing that it's not enough. You offer yourself, place yourself second so he can be first, and that only reinforces the vicious cycle. You look at your reflection in the mirror and realize that the person looking back is not the same as before. The smile is gone, the light in the eyes has faded. The wear and tear becomes visible, and you wonder if it will always be like this. What needs to happen for you to wake up from this nightmare? Have you ever thought about what freedom could mean? Not the freedom to be with someone, but to be whole with yourself. To feel complete without depending on someone else's approval. The idea of letting go of the need for validation is terrifying, but also liberating. Imagine being able to live without this emotional anchor that only pulls you down. It's a fascinating concept, but you hesitate. Why? Because the pain of change is greater than the pain of remaining. You know and accept the pain. The unknown is terrifying, but at the same time, your truth calls for liberation. Every time you place yourself second, you legitimize that position. You give the other person the power to define your worth. And what happens when you take that power back? When you decide it's enough, you can step out of that bubble. But now you need to face yourself. It's time to look inward, to what really matters. What makes your heart beat quickly? What inspires you? What makes you feel alive? These questions are buried under layers of expectation and need. You don't need someone who doesn't recognize your value. You must claim your own space. As you reconsider your path, start to see the signs. What have you been tolerating? What have you accepted as normal? These questions may be painful, but they are essential. By confronting them, you will begin to see the road ahead of you. And that road may not be easy, but it will be yours. True love is not idealized. It is built on respect, reciprocity, and understanding. You should not accept less than that. Life is too precious to be spent chasing something that was never really offered. And if there is a moment when you feel tempted to turn back, remember who you were before you entered this cycle. Who have you become? What have you forgotten about your true self? This reflection is a safe harbor. The choice to move forward or stay is yours. And the pain that comes with change is a sign that you are about to break free from invisible chains. You are rising again. You are rediscovering yourself. Freedom is what you seek, and the strength to achieve it already exists within you. The raw truth has been presented. It is time to act.